Hey everyone, it's Kai from Kool Collectibles, back again for another figure review. This time it's the Star Wars variant Playouts Kai Boba Fett. For all the upcoming Japanese Star Wars figures, head on over to Big Bad Toy Store. They ship worldwide, so definitely check them out. Alright, just like the Darth Vader, the packaging for this Boba Fett is really nicely done. I love the photos and artwork of the figure itself. So there's the front. You get a whole bunch of nice photos there, so it's very nicely done in a similar style to some of the movie posters, I guess. It just looks really classy. So as you can see, it's number 2, with Vader being the first, and number 3 being the Stormtrooper, which I also received today. So stay tuned for that review up next. You just open this up with some magnets there, and a nice photo of the figure in its flight pose. There is a bit of a blurb that you can probably try and pause and have a read if you want, and the nice window box showing the figure itself. So that's pretty much it for the packaging. A bit of stuff at the top, not too much at the bottom, but I'll crack him open and give you guys a closer look. Alright, so here he is out of the box, and I gotta say he looks absolutely fantastic. I love the paint application on him, but we'll get to that shortly. I'll just quickly go through the accessories. So it does come, as I think all Playouts Kai figures come with, the display stand. I haven't even taken it out of the packaging. It does stand pretty well on its own, and I haven't had to use the Vader one, so I'll just put that aside. It comes with this display stand, if I can actually get some focus. It comes with a clear display stand that is in 2 parts, and I think that is meant to allow this flaming accessory to stand upright. So I think you place it in one of these gaps somewhere, and it just holds it up like so, but I'll show you guys that in a second. He comes with these 2 exhaust things for his jetpack. So I'll just grab the jetpack now, and you pretty much just insert them in the holes there and here, and it gives you that look that he's flying, and the exhaust is coming out of there. So I don't think I'll use those at all, but they do look pretty nicely done, and are painted fairly well with that clear translucent plastic as well. So it sort of has that sort of orange tip transitioning to the blue, which is pretty nice. The blaster is probably the best accessory for me. The detail and the paint app on this is just really nice. So I do love the mold. It's a nice different take to Boba's blaster and his rifle. So I love the little paint detail and the weathering on it. It's got a nice sort of silver wash to it, and it's just a nice variant of that. He does come with his pistol as well, which looks very reminiscent of his usual look. And the figure comes with not his usual. He usually comes with a belt and a little holster on the side, but his holster this time is on the back, so you just sort of slide it in there, and that's a pretty cool variant of that design. So I quite like that, and it does have a pretty nice paint app to it as well. So it's got some sort of nice black wash to it, and the silver detailing, etc. is pretty nice. He comes with 2 forearm gauntlet accessories. So the usual one, I did struggle to get it off at the start, so you might just need to heat it up with some hot water or the hairdryer trick, but essentially you just line up the tabs here along those grooves, and then you can just put it on like so. I'll just leave it on just roughly like that, or you can grab the flamethrower piece and do essentially the same thing and squeeze it in a bit tighter like that, and have him shooting that flame out. I'll get on to the articulation in a second. You should be able to raise it a little bit higher than that maybe, But the flame effect on this thing is actually pretty good. I think it photographs better than the way it looks in person. So the flame does look quite realistic like that, but in person it does look a little bit plasticky. So it does have the nice sort of translucency here, but then it sort of starts getting a bit whitish and so on along there. But overall, not too bad, and a nice accessory to liven up the display, particularly if you want to have him in some sort of flying pose, etc. He comes with an assortment of hands, so he comes with standard with the two fists that he's shipped in, but he also comes with a pointing finger, and overall the mold and the paint application is pretty good. So the sort of grey glove on the inside and the metallic green on the outside, so not too bad there. He comes with just a relaxed hand on both sides, and another pointing finger for the right. So like, oh, I guess it's not just a pointing finger, it's the gun holding hand. I haven't tried putting it on yet, but I'll pose that up later. But onto the figure, and overall I've got to say I'm pretty impressed. Probably the only drawback that's been raised by a few other collectors as well, who have received theirs early, is the size of the helmet. With the proportions of the body, I guess the size of the head does seem a little small, but you quickly get used to it, so it's not too bad. I guess everyone's used to the bottom parts of the Boba helmet to come out quite a lot further from to his shoulders, but other than that, that's probably the only minor nitpick that I've got for this particular figure. I guess the only other thing that I could probably say is it's a shame that this doesn't articulate. The viewfinder here is just fixed in place, so you don't want to snap that off. Would have been good if you could just fold that down and have him viewing it through there, like most other figures, I think. But the helmet itself, the moulding is really nicely done. I love the weathering. It's got a lot of silver highlights, battle damage, and it just looks really nice. The green that they've used is pretty consistent throughout. There's variant material, so this whole chest piece here is like a softer plastic to I guess aid in the articulation, but everywhere else it seems fairly hard. But the paint's pretty uniformly good, and I do love the goldish yellow on the shoulder pads there, particularly this larger one with the bounty hunter, what is it, Mandalorian symbol or something along those lines. So that does look pretty damn good. So you get his Boba symbol there, which is nice, and the jetpack is really nicely modded as well. It's not removable that I can see, so just be careful there. But again, the molding and the detailing in the paint app is really nice. I love the sort of bronze highlights on the edges here and up the stem, and the classic green and battle damage is pretty damn nice. Everywhere else, I do like the belt. Similar to the Vader, it's a sort of a loose piece that's a softer plastic, so it doesn't really restrict the articulation too much, and it's all sort of one whole piece with this butt piece that you see there. So a bit of Van Damme butt cheek action happening there. On the legs, I do love the detailing in all of this sort of pouches and molding. The accessories, he comes with a couple of knives as well, like so. Unfortunately they're not metal, they're just plastic, and they just slot into the sheath there. I'm not sure which direction they go. I think that's the direction I've selected anyway with that curve of the knife, but let me know if you think that's wrong. But the gold on the knees here matches the gold on the shoulders and looks really nice, and I do like that they've got the iconic double pin things, or I don't know what they are on the original Boba, but he does have these two pin sticking out in his shoes. Mine's probably bent a little bit on this particular side, but I'll probably try and straighten that. But other than that, the moulding and the paint application is really nice. So articulation, the head and the neck, there's a joint at the base of the neck, so you can look quite a long way down, and there's also a joint at the top of the neck. So there's double joints there, and articulation is pretty good all the way around. Shoulder wise, because this piece is a bit higher, you can get it a little bit higher. Just try and get the neck out of the way. So it does have a pretty good range of motion there. This one is a bit shorter, and it does get in the way of the shoulder here, so you can't really, I wouldn't try and force that too much unless you break that piece off. So that's probably as far as I would go on that arm. See the Wookiee braids there. There's a bit of butterfly action as well, so you can get him into some good poses holding the rifle and etc. So that's good. Double jointed elbows, so you get a good range of motion there, which is pretty damn awesome on a figure like this. Chest rotation, so he has the upper torso rotation and also the hip rotation. My hip rotation is a little bit tight. You can sort of get it around, but I don't want to force it too much. But you can work it around as you futz it. Leg articulation, you got ratchet joints going outwards. It pretty much stops there due to the belt and these pieces here. And he also does ratchet forward and back. Like so. There is a bit of rotation there, and he's also got double jointed knees, so the joints do come pretty tight, so you just need to be a little bit careful, but you can get some pretty good dancing poses like so. So that's all good. Ankles, he gets the usual tilt up and down, and also has a bit of the rocking action as well, which I really do like. So that pretty much covers it for articulation. Oh, I forgot about the cape at the back here. The cape is on this ball joint, so you can sort of rotate it around and then lift it up. It does hold fairly well, and if you rotate it out, it sort of just splays out in the wind like so. It does have a nice tattered look, and it does look pretty good from that rear position as well. So overall, I've got to say, I'm really liking this Playarts Kai line. I'll just grab the Vader. Hold on a second. Alright, so here is Boba next to the first Vader, and as you can see, he's slightly shorter. They're both around the 10.5, 11 inch mark, I think, so just under 1/6 scale. But together they do look pretty damn awesome. I'm really liking this alternate variant style, and they rank right up there with the Bandai Tamashii Nation's Samurai range that also has a Boba coming out soon from the teaser pics that I've seen. So these together really do knock out some of the other figures that I was collecting through Hasbro, etc. These just have that extra sort of uniqueness that I'm looking for in my collection. So hope you guys like that quick look at Boba Fett. Hope you can click that subscribe button, because up next I've got the Stormtrooper in this series as well. So hopefully you can stick around for that. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers. Bye.